Hey Stampers, Diane Demich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm going to answer that question about what I do for organization. When I sent out a survey to my customers a couple weeks ago, that was one of the biggest things that people had a frustration with, was what to do with all their stuff and how to organize it. And I will tell you, over the years I have done lots of different rearranging and changing, but I think I've kind of come to a point in my Stampin' Up! Life that I have found what's working for me. And I don't see a big, huge change coming with a lot of the stuff that I store, because I've learned over the years of what to do. But I'm also going to tell you that what I did this week is as I went around to different stampers' homes, I took pictures of what they're doing for storage. I've talked to other people just so I could come up with some other ideas of things that might work for you. And so I'm hoping between this video and the stuff that I'm going to post on my blog, the pictures, that you'll be able to come up with a great option for you to store your products. So what I do to begin with is my ink pads are stored in this shelf, and I've had this shelf for probably 15 years. I bought it many years ago, and it has continued to work for me throughout my Stampin' Up! Career. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. I think it works out perfect, and I love that my ink pads are all stored here. And I just store them by color family, and then along the bottom is my ink colors. My scraps of paper. So anytime I have 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, which I actually store down below in the cabinet here, I'll take a picture and put it on my blog, but it's my 8.5 by 11 cardstock is in a hanging file folder, and my 12 by 12 is actually on a rack that I purchased from a stamp store that was going out of business. So I kind of got lucky there. But I love my hanging file folder for my cardstock. I've had that too for years. I think that probably started about 15 years ago, and I just hang them into the hanging file folders and then add, when I run low on something, I add to it by purchasing some more cardstock. So that's, the hanging file folder is a great option. And then a couple years ago I got these shelves, and I believe I got them at Target. And they're just drawers. There's two of them actually, there's two for each one. But these are my scraps of cardstock. So these are all my Bright Bolds cardstock. And I do try to keep them in there into color so that you can easily see them. But it's only my Bright Bold Bright, so I always know where to go to look for anything that so it's always, these are always my Bold Bright, so I always know where to go when I'm trying to look for a piece of scrap paper to make a card or to do a punch or whatnot. I do have a little basket up here that holds my cleaners and my glitter bottles. Anything that's in a bottle actually happens to be up here just because it was easy to put it in this basket and keep track of it. Behind there I've got pens, paintbrushes, pencils, and then another basket that has my aqua painters and my cutters and whatnot in it. Then up here, I do have this pegboard. My husband put this pegboard up years ago when I first moved into this room, and I love it. It's not very well used right now, and I probably will do some rearranging with that, but this just kind of holds some of those things I don't really know what to do with. Although I do have my Stampin' Scrubs and my mono adhesives are here, and all my scissor containers, because my scissors actually sit in a can on the countertop. But I do use this. I like it. It's nice because it holds so much stuff in a small amount of space. So then the next thing over here is this shelf. I bought this again years ago, and it used to just have these little shelves that are in there to stack things on, and I had my glitters and everything stacked. But then when Stampin' Up! Came out with these containers for our ribbons, this was years ago. They have since retired this, but I bought a bunch, and so now I have a container for my buttons, my embellishments, refill inks for the inks that I have up on the top shelf here, which is my StazOn and my Versamark. My glitters, my embossing powders, each one has its own little container, so I know exactly where to find it. But the big deal is I know exactly where to put it away, and I try to keep my room as clean as possible. I'm not a very clean stamper. I'm kind of messy, actually. My glitter container, I've had this glitter container for approximately probably 10 years. I often talk about getting a bigger container to put my glitter in, but this one seems to work, so I've just left it in there. I always put my my pearls and my rhinestones and my candy dots. They're actually in our rubber stamp containers. This is for the clear mount rubber stamps. These are awesome because they're all there and I know exactly what's in them. I didn't mark them or anything because you can look at the front cover and see what it is. And those just kind of hang out. See what I mean about being a messy stamper? It doesn't matter what I do. Everything becomes a mess. And so I just kind of hang those there on that shelf, and so that I always know where they are. Now my punches, I purchased this a couple years ago from another demonstrator. Her husband was making them when Stampin' Up! Came up with the new style punches. And it's a great shelf unit. It works great for me. So I can actually see what's on there. But originally I had this up here as my punch. Actually, this was my ribbon holder. And it was wooden dowels that went through that to put your ribbons on. But my husband came up with the idea of putting metal dowels in here. They're metal. And so now I could hang my punches. And for years that was my punch hanger. All of my punches fit on there. As you can see, that collection has expanded. And I have a ton of them. But yeah, so that's awesome. I love that. I have my retired ribbons. Anything that was in the Stampin' Up! Line that has retired, I place up there because I still use it. It still works with all the colors are still part of our line. But I just stick them up there. And I'll show a picture on the website of my others, what I do with my ribbons that are current. And then one of my favorite things was this shoe holder. This has followed me everywhere I went with my stamps. It's a shoe holder that now holds like all the extra mono adhesives, the snails, the glue sticks, anything that I have. It does have some tools. It has some of my wheel handles, my brayer. Some of my tools are in here. But this is it's just a shoe hanger. So it fits a lot of stuff. My sister, who just recently became a demonstrator, it only took 18 years and a trip to Fiji, but now she is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. She just purchased one, and that's where she hangs all of her punches. And it's awesome because she doesn't have a ton of stuff, but she has enough, and she's hanging her punches and some of her other items as storage in her house. In here would be these are all my stamps. They're just inside here. And these are my designer series papers. This is not ideal yet, and someday it will be. When I get all my stamps switched over to our new cases, I will actually have bookshelves in here that my stamps will sit on. So I'm excited about that. I will have other options. I kind of went around to different demonstrator or different stampers' houses this week. I had a couple of workshops, and so I took some pictures of some of the stuff that they're doing with their supplies so that you can see some other options. And I also have some stuff on my Pinterest account. I have a organization board just because I like to see what other people are doing and try to bring that in to some things that you could probably use. So I hope that helps. I hope it answers your question. If not, just leave a comment below. I will make sure I get it answered. And if I can help you in any way, just let me know. Thanks, and have a great day.